In the beginning, before time and history, there was a story so powerful it shaped civilizations and beliefs. This is the story of Genesis, the first book of the Hebrew Bible and the Christian Old Testament. We delve into its first chapter, a profound account of creation. Genesis chapter 1 is a wellspring of cultural and philosophical ideas. Imagine a time when the world was new, a formless void. Genesis paints a vivid picture of this nascent state. Then with divine utterance, creation began. Let there be light, and light there was, marking the first day. Composed over 2,500 years ago, the book of Genesis emerged from the oral traditions of the ancient Israelites. Passed down through generations, these stories carried within them the collective wisdom, beliefs, and questions of a people grappling with the mysteries of existence. The act of finally committing these stories to writing, sometime between the 10th and 6th centuries BCE, marked a pivotal moment in history. It gave permanence to ideas that had previously existed only in the realm of the spoken word, ensuring their survival and influence for generations to come. The creation narrative in Genesis, in particular, provided the Israelites with a powerful origin story. It offered them a framework for understanding their place within the cosmos and their relationship to the divine. In a world often characterized by uncertainty and chaos, Genesis provided a sense of order, purpose, and hope. It affirmed the existence of a benevolent creator who had fashioned the world with intention and care, culminating in the creation of humankind in God's own image. The book of Genesis begins with a statement both simple and profound. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. This opening verse sets the stage for the entire narrative, establishing God as the sole creative force behind all that exists. The text then describes the earth as formless and void, a picture of utter chaos and darkness. This primordial state, devoid of structure and life, serves as a stark contrast to the order and beauty that will soon unfold. It is within this void that God's creative power is first unleashed. Let there be light, God declares, and with these words the universe is born. Light, the very essence of creation, bursts forth, piercing the darkness and marking the beginning of time. This act is significant not only for its literal meaning, but also for its symbolic resonance. Light, in the biblical context, represents knowledge, truth, and the divine presence. It stands in direct opposition to darkness, which is associated with ignorance, evil, and chaos. The creation of light is often interpreted as a symbolic representation of the creation of the universe itself. Just as light illuminates the physical world, so too does God's creative power illuminate and give life to all that exists. The separation of light from darkness can also be seen as a metaphor for the distinction between good and evil, right and wrong. This duality is a recurring theme throughout the Bible and has had a profound impact on Western thought and morality. In many religious traditions, light is associated with the divine. It represents the presence of God, the illumination of the mind, and the path to enlightenment. This symbolism is particularly evident in the Gospel of John, where Jesus is referred to as the light of the world. The creation of light on the first day, therefore, can be seen as a foreshadowing of the coming of Christ, who would bring spiritual light and salvation to the world. On the second day of creation, God turns his attention to the formless expanse of water that covers the earth. The text describes a vault or dome being created to separate the waters above from the waters below. This vault, called the firmament, is described as a physical barrier holding back a vast cosmic ocean. While modern science offers a different understanding of the cosmos, the imagery of the firmament separating the waters holds symbolic weight. It reinforces the idea of God imposing order on chaos, creating distinct realms within the universe. This act of separation is crucial as it lays the foundation for the habitable world to come. The third day of creation marks a dramatic shift in the Genesis narrative. Where the first 2 days focused on establishing the fundamental elements of light and sky, Day 3 sees the emergence of the familiar forms of land and sea. And God said, "Let the waters under the heavens be gathered together into one place, and let the dry land appear." With this divine command, the waters recede, revealing the earth's surface for the first time. This separation of land and sea is not merely a geographical detail, it carries profound theological and symbolic weight. The emergence of dry land represents the creation of a space where life, as God envisioned it, could flourish. It is a testament to God's power to bring forth order from the watery chaos, transforming the uninhabitable into a place of potential and promise. The act of separation on the third day, particularly the division of land and sea, holds deeper meaning beyond its literal interpretation. It speaks to the human need for order and structure, a need that resonates across cultures and throughout history. Just as God brought order to the primordial chaos, humans, created in God's image, also seek to impose order on their surroundings. This desire for order manifests itself in various aspects of human endeavor, from the creation of laws and social structures to the development of scientific theories that explain the universe. The separation of land and sea in Genesis, therefore, can be seen as a reflection of this innate human drive to understand, categorize, and ultimately control the world around us. On the fourth day, God turns his attention to the heavens, and God said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of the heavens to separate the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years." This command ushers in the creation of the sun, moon, and stars. These celestial bodies placed within the firmament are not merely decorative, they're given specific functions within the created order. The sun, the greater light, is appointed to rule the day, while the moon, the lesser light, is to govern the night. The stars, too, are given a place within this celestial hierarchy. This division of labor reinforces the theme of order and purpose that permeates the creation narrative. Each element, from the smallest plant to the largest star, has a designated role to play in God's grand design. Day 5 of creation marks a significant shift in the Genesis narrative. While the preceding days focused on establishing the physical structure of the world, light, sky, land, sea, and celestial bodies, Day 5 introduces the first inhabitants of these newly formed realms. And God said, "Let the waters teem with living creatures, and let birds fly above the earth across the vault of the sky." With this command, the waters come alive with fish and other sea creatures, and the skies fill with birds of all shapes and sizes. This sudden burst of life into previously empty spaces underscores the creative power of God's Word. It also highlights the diversity inherent within creation, a diversity that God explicitly blesses. The text emphasizes that each creature is created according to its kind, suggesting a divine order within the natural world where each species has its own unique place and purpose. On the sixth day of creation, God said, "Let the land produce living creatures according to their kinds." The earth teemed with creatures, each uniquely adapted to its environment. Then God said, "Let us make mankind in our image, so they may rule over all creatures." The use of "us" has sparked much theological debate, with interpretations ranging from the Trinity to a literary device. The concept of humanity being created in the image of God is perhaps the most enduring and debated aspect of the Genesis creation account. It has been the subject of countless theological treatises, philosophical inquiries, and artistic interpretations throughout history, and it continues to challenge and inspire us today. What does it mean to be made in the image of God? What are the implications of this belief for our understanding of ourselves, our relationship with God, and our responsibilities to the world around us? Throughout history, various interpretations of the Imago Dei have emerged. Some have focused on the intellectual capabilities of humankind, emphasizing our capacity for reason, language, and creativity as reflections of the divine mind. Others have pointed to our moral conscience, our innate sense of right and wrong, as evidence of our divine image. Still others have emphasized our capacity for love, compassion, and self-sacrifice, arguing that these qualities reflect the very essence of a loving God. In a dramatic departure from the preceding 6 days of creation, the seventh day in Genesis chapter 1 is characterized by divine rest. And on the seventh day, God finished his work, and he rested. This sudden cessation of activity might seem jarring, a stark contrast to the dynamic energy of the preceding verses. However, this divine rest is of completion and satisfaction. God, having surveyed all that he had made, saw that it was very good. The seventh day is the culmination of God's creative work, set apart, imbued with special significance. This act of divine rest establishes a rhythm for all creation, a rhythm of work and rest that mirrors the divine pattern. The concept of the Sabbath, first introduced in Genesis chapter 1, becomes a central tenet of Jewish law and tradition. The fourth commandment, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy, underscores the importance of observing this day of rest. The Sabbath, observed from sundown on Friday to sundown on Saturday, is a time when work ceases, families gather, and the focus shifts from the material world to the spiritual. It is a day for prayer, study, reflection, and acts of loving kindness. The observance of the Sabbath is not merely about adhering to a set of rules, but rather about entering into a different rhythm of life, a rhythm that prioritizes rest, reflection, and connection. It is a time to step back from the busyness of daily life and reconnect with God, with loved ones, and with oneself. It is a time to appreciate the gifts of creation and to cultivate gratitude for all that we have. In today's fast-paced, technology-driven world, the concept of a day of rest might seem like a quaint relic of the past. We live in a culture that glorifies productivity, where busyness is often seen as a badge of honor, and being constantly connected is the norm. However, this relentless pace of life comes at a cost. Stress, anxiety, burnout, and a sense of disconnection are all too common in our modern world. It is within this context that the ancient wisdom of the Sabbath takes on a renewed relevance. While the strict observance of a day of rest might not be feasible or even desirable for everyone, the principles underlying the Sabbath, rest, reflection, connection, and celebration, remain profoundly relevant to our lives today. Taking time for rest and rejuvenation is not a luxury, but rather a necessity for our physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being. Genesis chapter 1, though composed millennia ago, continues to hold a mirror to our human experience. It grapples with fundamental questions. Where did we come from? What is our place in the universe? And what does it mean to be human? The creation narrative offers a framework for understanding our relationship with the divine, each other, and the natural world. It speaks to our deepest longings for order, meaning, and purpose in a chaotic world. The image of God challenges us to live up to our highest potential. While the scientific understanding of the universe has evolved dramatically since the writing of Genesis, the awe and wonder that the creation narrative evokes remain undiminished. Modern cosmology, with its discoveries of vast galaxies, black holes, and the intricate laws governing the universe, only deepens our appreciation for the grandeur and mystery of creation. The more we learn about the universe, the more we realize how much we don't know, and the more we are humbled by the sheer immensity and complexity of it all. The Genesis account, with its poetic language and vivid imagery, captures this sense of awe and wonder. It reminds us that we are part of something much larger than ourselves, a vast and interconnected web of life that extends far beyond our limited human perspective. This realization can inspire a sense of humility and a profound respect for the natural world and the delicate balance that sustains life on Earth. In an age often characterized by fragmentation and uncertainty, the story of Genesis continues to offer a sense of grounding and connection. It reminds us of our shared human story, our common origins, and the enduring power of narrative to shape our understanding of the world and our place within it. The creation account, with its timeless themes of creation, relationship, responsibility, and rest, transcends cultural and religious boundaries, speaking to something deep within the human spirit. The enduring power of Genesis lies in its ability to invite multiple interpretations and engage with contemporary issues. From discussions about environmental stewardship and the ethics of artificial intelligence to debates about social justice and the meaning of human dignity, the themes explored in Genesis remain relevant to the challenges facing humanity in the 21st century. It is a text that continues to inspire artists, writers, musicians, and theologians, sparking creativity and prompting ongoing reflection on what it means to be human in a complex and ever-changing world.